Well, there's been a lot going on in Europe in recent days, of course, and Florence, our newspaper reviewer, has just this moment stepped into the studio. Ever on the case. Impeccable timing.
Just made it in the nick. I'm going to start off by looking at what's happening in Guinea-Bissau. We've been hearing reports that there was a failed coup d'etat yesterday. So we're going to take a look, first of all, at the Bissau Digital, which is a Portuguese-American website. Now, according to this website, the government and the army chief, Antonio Njai, they're blaming the coup on the marine chief, Bubo Nachuto. Now, the timing comes as the president is currently in France on a medical visit, and especially 10 days after a plane was intercepted and it was suspected of drug trafficking. Now, the Bissau Digital reminds us that Antonio Njai and Bubo Nachuto used to be rivals, but they used to be allies, but they've become rivals in recent months because of this alleged drug trafficking. They're both blaming each other for being behind this drug trafficking. Now, the Bissau Digital says that history could maybe be repeating itself. It reminds us that in 2009, the then army chief, Tagme Nawai, and the president, Nino Vieira, were assassinated just a couple of hours after each other, and the assassins were never found. Now, moving on to another website called the Guinea-Conakry.info, they remind us that Guinea-Bissau is a hub for narco trafficking in the area and a very weak state.
I'm just going to stand here and listen in awe of your pronunciation.
Oh, I'm not sure if I did that right. I got some help from a colleague in the newsroom.
Now, we've just been talking to Iris Makler in Jerusalem about the segregation issue and that it's absolutely taking off, and tonight they're expecting protests of thousands of people. What are the press saying?
Well, we're going to look at an article in Haaretz by Mirav Mikeli, who she has an opinion piece, and she's wondering about the timing of what she calls this exclusion of women festival. She wonders, why is this happening right now? What has changed? She says that it's exhausting to time and again bring up this debate that's been happening for decades. She says that women have been, year in and year out, been trying to raise awareness about these income gaps, about poor representation of women, that there aren't enough women judges, that there's repression. So what has happened now? Why are people talking about this now? Now, she says, first of all, due to the political climate, a lot of this repression is happening out in the open, and that's annoying for people. And also, this is perhaps some sort of a good inertia from what was happening this summer when there were a lot of protests against the high cost of living. So this might be another way for the masses to show that they're unhappy. One thing is for sure, she says that the people that are actually benefiting from this situation is secular men, and that they're distracting women by this kind of debate rather than actually carrying out real change.
Somehow I suspect that secular men often benefit.
Absolutely.
All right, staying with Israel, obviously the situation in Syria to Israel is of great importance. What's the press saying? Well,
this is an interesting article that appeared in Mariv, which is a daily in Israel. It was actually appeared on December 25th. It's being picked up on by a lot of the international press. Now, according to Mariv's sources, the Syrian vice president, Farouk al-Shara, secretly went to Moscow on December 16th. And when he was there, according to Mariv, he met with the foreign minister, Sergei Lavrov. And according to Mariv, they talked about the possibility of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad going into exile in Moscow. Now, this is all according to Mariv. Now, the Kremlin did confirm that the Syrian prime minister, was in Moscow, but they didn't confirm what he talked about.
That would be huge, wouldn't it?
That would be huge news, absolutely.
What else about Russia?
Well, Russia, there's still a lot of criticism of Prime Minister Vladimir Putin. We're going to look at a cartoon which is pretty representative of what a lot of the international press is saying. Here, this is in the International Herald Tribune. You see Putin looking down at protesters on the Red Square, and he says, so elections aren't good enough, now they want fair elections. So a lot of criticism of Putin in the international press.
Florence, thank you for making it on time.